glasses.
He does have a rat face. He does have. You should tell him that first thing on the pod. Be like, yo, dude, you look like a rat.
Yeah, I've been trying to get back to my old ways and just say what I'm thinking, because that's when I was funnier. I was thinking about this the other day. I was so much funnier growing up because, one, I wasn't trying to be quiet like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And two, I did not give a fuck. Like I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, but I was just like, if I'm trying to be funny, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Like, I don't care. If they get mad, they get mad. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
And so I just say whatever, talk shit to whoever, but then I'd also take everything because I was so used to our group just handing me shit 24/7. They're like, you couldn't say anything that was going to bother me.
You were like a beaten stepchild.
Yeah, with 6 stepdads, no loving mother.
You're just getting shit all the time, like, and so you're just like, I'm gonna be mean to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna take it out on you.
Exactly.
Okay, what up, everyone? We're back. So we just recorded an episode, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna post this one tomorrow on Wednesday, and then that other one's gonna come out on Friday. We're trying out a couple of new things around here. We're being all professional, dude. Look, we brought back the red chairs.
We got a whole new setup again.
A whole new setup again. It was so funny.
Another green screen.
Another green screen. We're just gonna keep adding fucking green screens in here.
Oh, finally, dude. Oh, shit.
Dude, why, man?
Because my stomach hurts.
We just fucking started and you're going to ruin the episode. You're going to gas me out. I won't be able to fucking think.
This isn't much better because now I'm just smelling myself from working today, and it's like a little better. It smells like fucking Mexican food.
Colby's been trying to get that fart out since the start of the last episode. I'm glad it made it, bro. Yeah, man, I added another green screen, and now it is so fucking green in here. But, oh, that's what I was going to say. Abby was like, you brought back out the red chairs? Because I literally just got these things out of my office like 2 weeks ago, and they're back now. And she's like, they're back? And I'm like, dude, I only have 2 chairs that match. Like, I tried to make the studio look a little bit more professional, and now I'm like, well, I can't be sitting in 2 mismatched chairs, you know? But I
do love that, like, when I come here, like, shit just disappears and comes back. Like, I don't know where you take it, what you do with it. You just have, like, this hoard, like, this stash of podcast stuff that just comes back. Oh, I didn't bring the light. I just remember that.
That's what I said on the phone.
When did you text me that?
Last night.
Oh, shit.
I texted it to you.
I was going to say that's because I didn't go home.
I texted it to you at like last night at like midnight because I was like, okay, he's going to wake up in the morning before he goes to work and he's going to see that. And you did, because then you texted me this morning at 7 o'clock. You were like, yes, sir, with a thumbs up or something. And on the phone earlier when you're like, oh, shit, I was like, you forgot the light, huh? And you're like, yeah, dude, I almost ran through this red light. And I was like, that's not what I meant, but whatever. Like,
oh, that's what you said. Okay. I thought you said, oh, the light. And because you knew I was like a little bit behind you.
Yeah.
And so I thought you were just like being intuitive and you were like, he's coming up on the fucking light and he just got a speeding ticket or something.
No, I figured that, oh, shit, yep, I forgot the one thing that I was supposed to bring. Which is all good, bro. I don't care. You fucking can't remember the light. The producer doesn't even show up today. What the fuck? That's
and the producer was our food too.
I know. Oh, you brought us food. You contributed. Thank you for contributing to the podcast.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was funny because she was like, well, I said I was going to come over and you didn't like seem excited about it. So I just kind of figured I wasn't coming over. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, because I wasn't trying to be like, no, you can't come and sit in on the podcast. Like, it was like the end of a day, you know, and I'm like just kind of grumpy, you know, and I was
trying to get home, driving,
trying to leave, you know, and like apparently I didn't sound enthusiastic enough, so like we all got to kiss ass to my wife and be like, please come back on the podcast. Please.
We'll bring her food.
Well, I did think about that too, not the food thing. And I don't know if she would be up for it, but almost at some point in time for like a special episode at some point in time, we should do a family episode. You got
bring Grace and Jack.
Yeah, you bring your girlfriend and your kid, and then Abby will be in here, and it will just be a complete shit show.
That'd be fun. Jack will get us lots of views. He's very cute.
Hopefully. Dude, I love that picture of him trying to eat the beer at my wedding. That's such a good picture. Grace was like, I was like, sorry. Just fucking died right there. I was like, let me take a picture. And she's like, no. And she's like trying to take, and I'm like, Grace, let me take the picture. So I was like, ching, ching, ching. And I took all of these pictures of him just like eating my banquet can. He's just like,
dude, he's strong. Like as soon as he got that thing, he just crumpled it. And then was like, now I can bite it.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Now it's not round and I can get my mouth around it. The sharp pointy metal.
What we were talking about. So you guys can know about this because this is behind the BTS fucking podcast, behind the scenes, bro. Joe List is coming to town on this weekend, and I'm gonna go see him on Thursday, and I'm going to try and get him to come and be on the podcast. And I'm gonna use my one credit. I'm gonna be like, have I already pitched this to you?
I don't think so.
Because I see them every one of the comedians. They usually just come out after the show and like do like a little like meet and greet, take pictures or whatever at Helium. And so I've gotten to talk to everybody, and I was like, I'm gonna walk up and be like, Mr. List, great show. Would you please come and be on my podcast? It's just starting to gain a little bit of steam. Me and my friend Colby do it together. You can call Are You Garbage? They'll maybe vouch that I'm not a complete lunatic. I shouldn't already be calling in this favor, but I'm like, you call them. Like, I'm not.
That would be so funny if they're like, dude, he texted us after the show. He talked to Luke or whatever before the show. He's calling in favors. Who the fuck is this guy?
I left him alone though. The first time they didn't respond, I was like,
that's good.
Right. All right, sounds good. I was like, I get it. Not trying to overstay my welcome. You know, like, probably already did a little bit. But I was thinking, I was like, if I say that, maybe and I was like, I do think it would be a funny episode because he just had his first kid and they're like the same age. Your kid and his kid. But
how old is he?
45.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting combo.
So it would be quite the you know, parallel but not parallel at all.
Yeah.
Because like he's an established comedian, he gets to do what he loves. You're breaking your back all day doing construction. Like myself, but I'm not trying to provide for a kid. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like but you're going to a job you hate every day. You're 20 years younger. But you guys are kind of, you know, like you could give my friend fucking father advice or something.
Dude, so
yours might even be older. You might be giving him the advice.
Oh shit. That would be funny. I like to do that. The people I'm working for have a daughter, but they just had a son. And I was just talking, he's out of town, but last time I was there, I was talking his ear off. This time I was talking her ear off. Just talking about kids. Oh yeah, we were doing this. This works. This works.
Yeah, you're just.
They have a kid, like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, or something. So I think she goes to school.
They
she
have
might be
more
older.
experience than you, and you're like, no, I know what I'm doing. Don't
yeah,
worry.
but a boy's different, and I've done this for 7 months now. I'm an expert. So, kind of on somewhat to do with that, like a comedian with a kid. In the past, like before I had a kid, I'd see comedians with kids and I was like, you can do it. Now that I have a kid and I see the schedule and the work schedule and everything, and then just thinking like, okay, I can still be a good dad and still be a decent boyfriend.
Yeah.
And also go like make it out to, you know, Portland, whether it's Helium or somewhere else, and do some open mics like a couple nights a week, at minimum like 2. I could do that. I mean, not at this moment, but like soon here in a couple months. That's doable. I started thinking through it and I was like, okay, so say like however many years from now, I'm not even tooting my own horn, just like 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Even then, and my kid's, 11 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know with traveling how that would work.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm like, I started thinking about it and I'm like, shit, so would I just be like a podcaster that does comedy in Portland and I don't like tour? If like I ever was good and that
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
like at that level. And I was like, shit, like that really bums me out. So I started thinking about it and I was like, fuck, this is kind of a conundrum. How do you become a comedian when you want to be a good dad and you don't want to be gone every weekend?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. And then I was like, well, I got to talk to Jason about this.
So you want my thoughts now?
Yeah.
I think that it's I think any day of the week that would be the easiest fucking job to have with a family. Like I listen to oh my god, dude, I just farted into the same thing, dude. What the fuck? Dude, what did you
It's the Burgerville,
I know,
dude.
what did you put in that Burgerville, dog? I listen to
Stale
it, and I don't
cum.
know. This is coming from someone who doesn't do it, so it's pretty easy outside looking in. But I listen to a lot of pretty famous comedians. Like Chris DiStefano is one of my like higher up. Like I like that guy a lot. I like his podcast, and he talks a lot about that. How he's always like, "Oh, I don't want to be away from the family." But in my head, just take the fucking kids with you, bro.
That's what Grace said.
Because that's what. So like Matt from Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, he talks about that. He's on tour like 2 or 3 weekends a month a lot of the times, and he just takes the family with him. And I'm like, that's exactly what I would do. You guys get to travel the country with each other. It's obviously more expensive, so you have to be able to recuperate that money. Like, you don't want to be like, okay, well, it cost me $3,000 to get out here since I have 2 kids and a wife, like.
And I'm making $500 a weekend.
Well, exactly. And obviously, like, those guys are way past that. Like, they're
Yeah.
doing these big shows, so it's like they're making so much fucking money. I would just take, like, and I've said the same thing to Abby. I'm like, why would we not? Like that, and like she's kind of had some resentment about it before too. And I'm like, it would make so much sense that like me and you are just, we're in California this weekend. Oh, we're in Arizona this weekend. And we just, because you do 3 shows and it's like 2 to 3 hours of the day and I understand that, like, there's a lot of like getting in the zone, and like needing that like time to be ready to go up on stage. But also, like, I just went to mind you, not the same. I just went and did like the Helium open mic or whatever. And instead of actually like really focusing on like everything, I was like, dude, I'm not trying to make this stressful and like be like, because there was a couple people there that you could tell like
They're back there with everybody, but they're just writing or something.
Yeah, and they're just like head in the note. And I think that that's good to a certain extent, but I also think you can put too much pressure on yourself that way, where it's like, dude, this is me tooting my own horn and sounding fucking douchey, but I'm like, I know that I'm funny. Like, let me just get up there. I'm going to make them laugh. Like, I know that
if you're like shooting the shit and whatever in the green room before, I feel like
it gets
probably for me and you, maybe not everybody, but I feel like that gets you in like a good mood, gets the juices flowing, gets you thinking, gets you like in that like kind of talking pattern that you're about to go do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like that would be better to like prep than sitting there in a note.
So when we get famous and we go start touring everywhere, you're going to be just fucking fine. And Grace and the baby have to come.
She said, she was like, well, we just bring him with, or like, we just come with you. And I was like, oh yeah. And she's like, yeah, we're already like talking about not homeschooling him, but he would be at home, but we're not teaching him shit.
Yeah.
We're not raising a retard. That would go so bad. But he'd be like online school.
It would be interesting to see Colby's curriculum.
Fuck, dude.
All right, so we're going to talk about the pyramids for about 6 hours today. History, dude. I'm teaching him history.
And now I'm going to teach you physics. So when you throw a fig at a window, here's the trajectory. Here's how you figure out the speed, the arc. And then you want to do a little bit harder so you go over the house and you don't hit the window.
How much force does it take to throw a ball through a window? Let's go find out. You guys are just walking through the neighborhood, throwing fucking rocks through the window and shit.
I've just got a speed gun on his arm. Like, yeah, good. That one was 62.
So
the neighbors are like, yo, he's learning, asshole. He's in school right now.
he's in school, can't you tell? I'm teaching him valuable life lessons. Get back in your house.
Here's a company. Here's a card for the glass company.
My friend will come and fix it. So that was something that I wanted to say that I thought was really funny and I almost did it on the last part, but I was like, nah, I'll just leave it till we start this one or whatever. But when I went to Helium, I think I already said that, but I had like the crown and the beads on, and I'm like, it's my birthday, like walking around. I think people thought that I was like, I needed a helper. I think that's what they thought Abby was. Like, I don't think that they were like, oh, that's clearly his wife. She's out of his league. I think that's maybe like his helper, gets him around town or whatever. Because after all of it, the waitress, and I don't know if this is something that they just generally do or she liked us or what, but like she brought me a Helium t-shirt and 2 free passes to like any of the shows. And a couple of sheets of like all of their different stickers.
They thought you were special.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely.
Like,
they don't give a fuck about somebody's birthday.
No.
They'd be doing that every night. They're like, no, we've given out 50 shirts, okay?
He's shitting his pants. He clearly needs a handler.
So you were driving in that story, or you were in a car that was moving? Okay.
Hey, buddy, I hope your ride gets you home safe tonight.
Fuck it. Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
So the last podcast, I started saying something about like I was trying to gain weight again.
Yes.
I never finished that.
I thought you were going down a train of thought.
Yeah. I don't know what ended up happening. So
it's somewhere.
Sorry. But if you watch that one and you watch this one, you can have the full story. So I'm trying to gain weight. Grace knows this.
Well, it's going to fuck him up even more because this one's probably coming out before the other one.
Yeah.
You're going to be like,
so stay tuned for the beginning of the story. I'm doing it backwards over here.
We both need handlers.
For sure. I mean, my ex and current girlfriend were talking about how retarded I am. I think so. I think I need a handler. But
okay.
Grace knows I'm trying to gain weight.
Yes.
So we're at her parents' house. And for whatever reason, we're talking about like weight or something.
Yeah.
And I make a comment that I was like 136 or something. She's like, yeah. And I'm finally like, after pregnant or whatever, like lost the baby weight. She goes, yeah. And I'm finally like, I weigh less than him now. And I go, it's about to be a whole lot less. Because in my mind, I'm trying to get up to 150, like 5, and she's at 134. Well, sorry, but 134. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. But, like, and, like, she looks great. So, I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I didn't think of what somebody else in the room was thinking. Because to me, I'm like, I'm trying to gain weight. I think she looks great.
And to them, they think you got her on strict diet restrictions.
Her mom goes, what do you mean by that? And I was like, what do I mean by what? And she's like, why is she going to weigh so much less? And I start laughing because now I see what she's saying. And Grace is still oblivious. I don't even think she's listening to either of us. And so then I tell her, no, I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to get back up to 155. So she'd be like 20 pounds lighter at that point.
Yeah.
And so then her mom laughs and is like, oh, okay. And she goes, yeah, I thought you were like telling her, she needs to lose weight, or you were going to, try and get her on a diet or something, or get her working out. And so then Grace still has no idea. So then I explain it to her, and then she's dying. And she goes, yeah, I didn't even think anything about it because I know he's trying to gain weight. And I was like, I don't even think you were fucking listening. Like, I think you're fucking lying right now.
Dude, I feel like that's so funny, though, that, like, I hate when I do that because I do that shit a lot. I'm trying to think of a good example, but I know exactly what you mean, where you're like,
what do you mean by that? And I'm like, what?
That's the best comment, too. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what does that even mean?
She's like, I thought I was about to jump you. I was like, oh. Well, you'd lose, but
Different
beat the shit out of you.
You should have just doubled down.
If
They're like, yeah, this fucking hog over here, she won't stop eating.
If I had like realized it right
I'm just
away,
kidding.
I definitely would have. Like that's what I always do.
Yeah.
I always double down. Grace hates it, but she did admit one time because like my family was giving me shit for it and like how I treat her, and she like we were having a conversation about it one time, and I was like, does it really like bother you? Do you really want me to stop? Because if so, like I don't know how that's gonna go because this is my personality. Like I like comedy. I like to try and be funny. I don't like to be serious any of the time. If you want me to not make jokes, like we're probably going to be done. Yeah. And I was like, if you don't like me walking in and being like, what's up, you dumb, beautiful bitch. If you don't like that, we probably won't work. And so if, you know, we eventually have a convo about it. And she's like, no, honestly, it'd be like really boring if you didn't do all the shit. Like, yes, is it sometimes annoying?
Yeah.
But it's better to be annoying a little bit of the time. And then the rest of the time, it like, you know, makes things funnier and better. Rather than, you know, being bored all the time and sometimes you're funny or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I go, like, write that down. Let's record it. My family needs to hear this. They think I'm an asshole.
We got to keep this on the book so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really funny because I'm married now, like we talked about. Married man, you know. Now there is significant, like anything that I do, there's significantly more paperwork that she has to go through just to get rid of me. Like if she doesn't like it. So, I've been trying to like this is me kind of workshopping a little bit, but so that's part of it right there is like, there's way more paperwork if she doesn't like what's going on. They painted all over our cars. Did I tell you about this already?
The people like at the beach?
No, Abby's mom. Oh yeah, I talked about that. But did I tell you about how I pick up Tim every morning in this car that says just married. And so it's me and this fucking behemoth riding around in my Subaru Forester. And it looks like me and him, we're wearing matching shirts because we're both headed to work. It looks like we just got married or something, you know?
Oh, and they're like, he's definitely the bottom. And they're like, yeah, he's driving a Subaru. That's who just got married for sure.
Well, it's usually gay ladies that are driving the Subaru.
It works.
But yes, concept's still the same. So one of the things that me and Tim have been doing now is we've been calling Abby the old ball and chain. Did I tell you about this?
No.
She obviously hates being called the ball and chain. And like, that's part of my bit is like, it's a crazy thing to be like, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. Yep, the old ball and chain, you know, like, and people will actually say it and like, they're not really fucking around. You know, like they're just saying it like that. And so Abby clearly hates being called the ball and chain. So I started trying to run down the list of like other things that mean the same thing. So I started calling her handcuffs. That was a no-fly zone either. Me and Tim, we were doing it. We were like workshopping all the different things that I could call her, you know, like, and Tim's like, yeah, the battle axe, which is funny because I have heard that. Yeah, the old battle axe.
I've never heard that.
So he said that, and I was like, yep, the old cinder block is carrying me down again. So
weighing me down.
I've been calling her a cinder block.
And she hates that even more. I can only assume.
She said, because I've told so many people this, like all of these things, and she's like, honestly, I kind of prefer cinder block. You know, like, she prefers,
I like battle axe.
That's the other one. She prefers cinder block or battle axe, and then she was like, she's adding on. She's fucking punching it up too, and she's like, well, I'm gonna start calling you like what is that thing called? She's like, I'm calling you a morning star, you know, like another medieval weapon. It's the ball with the spikes on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no. What's that catapult thing? And Tim just pulls this out of his ass. He's like, it's called a trebuchet. Which is so funny.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why the fuck does he know this?
I'm pretty sure when he said it, I was like,
a trebuchet?
A trebuchet? Trebuchet? Something like that. And so now Abby calls me a trebuchet and I call her a cinder block. Nobody has any idea what the fuck's going on around here.
That's an interesting relationship you got going on.
Yeah. And like I said, if she hates it, she's got to file legal paperwork to stop it.
God, I can't wait to have that be able to argue that point. Or just like throw it out there.
You're not leaving.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't think that was funny? Well, go do the fucking paperwork. Oh, yeah, you don't want to. Sucks to suck.
I don't think it's that much paperwork. Can't stand on that argument too tall.
Shit. You only stand 3 pages high.
I wonder. I hope I don't have to find out, but I wonder how bad it is to actually get divorced. Like,
I think I read.
I've heard it's still caught. Dude, everything about marriage.
I think or read like it was like $10,000 to get divorced, just for like the lawyers and shit or something. I don't know what the fuck it costs.
Yeah.
Like why?
We're staying together because we're out of money.
That's when you just like you're separate but you still live together, and then you hear the other one with somebody else, and then somebody ends up dead.
Dude, I would no. I would leave so fast.
There was 50 Cent just posted a thing of this guy killed his wife and the dude she was cheating on him with. And it was funny because in the comments, there were some people who were like, and basically everyone was on the guy's side.
Yeah.
They were like, well, yeah, like your marriage just got broken up and she was fucking somebody else in your house. And then the other side of it, people were like, well, and she's just a bitch anyways. Why not just leave if you want to fuck somebody else or whatever? And all the comments were just taking his side. And I just thought it was hilarious because I thought it was going to not be the case.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, what are the comments got to... Oh, shit. Well, this isn't that funny. They're all taking his side.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, bro. I lost it.
No worries.
I was trying to think of something good that went along with that, and I just fucking fully spaced out. You touched the green screen, and I was like, I wonder if, and it's totally fine. I'm not like, I don't really care, but I'm like, I wonder if the background's gonna be like.
That'd be kind of cool. We can make it wave.
That would be kind of cool.
Do like an American flag, and I'll just hit it every once in a while. And they'll be like, oh, that's real.
That thing looks real.
That's a big one.
We did this the first time that I painted the green screen wall, but I'm just going to start putting us into all of the fucking different sceneries. We're just in water.
Just clicks by.
Yeah. Oh.
What are we at?
Not long enough, dog. 26 minutes. But technically an hour and a half of recording so far. So, I mean, that's why it feels like not very long. But we're losing steam on the first episode. Fucking Colby, break out the cocaine.
I think fucking Batty.
Yeah.
Batty, we need what she's got, some catnip or something.
Dude.
She's going to town over there, just in the zone.
I will say...
This is what she's doing.
Yeah, I'm super happy that she keeps getting back up on the table. And you watched me put her on the floor like 4 times.
She's like, no, I want to be right in the camera so they can see me licking myself.
I know.
Look, I'm a clean cat.
But
I'm cleanly.
I am
Any dudes
nervous.
out there?
I am kind of nervous that it's like shaking it enough that like the mics are going to be making a weird noise
That
most
would
of the podcast. Fuck, dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm like running on a lot less sleep than I should be because I keep forgetting shit. Come on, dude, get down off here. You're a good kid. Stay down there. Just stay down there. You're fine. Don't hop back up on the table. What the hell is this?
What is it about black cats? They're like
Always late.
They steal the dog's food. No, like black cats
bring back the podcast of racism.
Yeah.
We were in a lull there for a minute.
We just needed a little bit of racism. Dude, the person's house who I'm working at, she is a researcher, scientist, whatever, for like drugs. Like they try and like create drugs.
Yeah.
To help people. So like yellow fever, is what what she had been working on.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was.
I thought they fixed that.
I cheated.
No.
Like a couple years ago, her and her team were the people that came up with the pill or medicine, whatever, to like, I don't know, mitigate because like yellow fever, I think if I remember correctly, she said you die, like you get it and you're basically fucking dying soon.
But I thought that's didn't I read a book about that, and like it had a picture of a girl's eyeball on the fucking cover.
I don't know what yellow fever is.
I feel like I feel like I read a book on that like way back. I feel like that was something that happened like 1890s to like fucking 1950, and then they fixed it and they like solved the problem, and now this
chicken pox.
No, and I feel like this lady's trying to be fucking Fauci and just like get everybody.
Possibly. I don't know. I believed her, but when she said it to me, I immediately giggled because I didn't know what it meant. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I got yellow fever. I don't like being around yellows. And then she had to keep explaining this awful disease and how people dying as I'm smirking. Like, yeah, I'm an awful person. Dude, so you guys want to hire me?
You're hiring advertisement agencies to try and get you more business. Meanwhile, you're just actively losing clients because you're just
being racist, laughing about awful shit.
Yeah, that's the thing is like obviously we don't hate Asian people. I mean, I do a little bit. But
I remember growing up, always Caleb and Cam had a straw hat.
Yes.
In their living room. And our group gave them so much shit for like 15 years. It never ended.
It's the one Asian people we know, and I remember their straw hat. I will say, though, and I think I said that on the last podcast, and I'm sorry if I did, but obviously I don't hate Asians. One came to my wedding, and he was my favorite person there when he showed up in his fucking Gravedigger t-shirt.
The most American Asian. He's in a Gravedigger t-shirt.
I'm now realizing that all of the people in our friend group that have any sort of ethnicity
are just white still,
like whiter than white. Like they're somehow whiter than us. Like they're like, no seasoning, please.
Fuck.
Oh.
There's definitely, I don't even know. There's Mexicans in our group that do not like spice. I don't know who. And it might not even be our group, but it's somebody I'm friends with.
I was going to say, I feel like we never really had Mexican friends growing up. Like, I mean, I did, but not like that we actually like hung out with outside of school. Like, I liked Mexican kids.
Technically,
and they'd been
Anthony and Justin, but like, again,
yeah,
they're white.
Yeah. Now I'm friends with a bunch of Mexican dudes and like actual Mexican dudes, like from
Growing
Mexico.
Up, I was around a shit ton of Mexicans just because my dad was friends with a bunch of Mexicans.
Yeah.
So like all of my uncles were just random Mexican dudes.
Yeah.
One of them, his name was Soto. Fucking chiller, dude.
Soto?
That's
Japanese. Yellow fever.
Yeah, he was the one that I think I told the story on here where like I'd get my dad and his friend a beer. We'd always be at the beach like every weekend for like a year or two. We'd go there and go crabbing.
Yeah.
And he'd always like our cooler was farther up with all the chairs and stuff, but like they'd sit down by all the stakes for crabbing. Mm-hmm. And they'd just sit there and drink beer, and like the family would be up there playing. And I'd hang out with them and like whatever. So you used to, sometimes the line, because there was a shelf, and so it would just drop off.
Yeah.
And the line sometimes would get stuck right there. And so somebody had to go out, like you'd grab the line and follow it out and then go under and free it. Okay. And that was like my favorite thing to do because there was always people walking by.
Yeah.
And then they'd like stop and like look at our crabs. And then I was, 2.5 to 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
No, I was even shorter than 3.5 because I wasn't even 8 yet. So I was tiny. And I like would be the one to go out there and they're like, what is he doing? Like, hey, your kid. And my dad's like, oh, he's fine. He's got to free the line. And I was like, yeah, I'm just freeing the line. And I like felt like such a badass. I was like, yeah, I'm an adult. I'm just freeing the line.
Dude,
it was like my favorite thing to do.
You were doing the wrong thing. You should have like popped out and been like, he caught me.
I did. My second favorite thing was just hucking back the crabs that were too small. Like that was because you'd grab them with your thumb right on their belly.
Yeah.
And then your fingers are on their back and then their claws can't get you.
Yeah.
So they can't pinch you, but they still have like the other little sharp ones. And so they'd like curl around your hand and they'd scratch you right there.
Yeah.
And so you just fucking huck it and get scraped, but it was my favorite thing.
Just hucking crabs. I will say it feels weird throwing fish back into the river. I don't even know if we talked about that, but I finally caught my first fish. And yeah, but
Gave him a huck.
no, well, I caught 2 fish. The first one, I mean, dude, honestly, I hope I didn't. Did we talk about that on the podcast?
I think so.
Okay, then I'm leaving it.
Have you heard about the flying fish or seen it? I just saw this the other day on Instagram and I looked it up to make sure it was real. There's a flying fish.
A flying fish.
So it doesn't really fly, but here's how it works.
Okay, because I was like, I feel like I've heard about this.
It's like a flying squirrel.
Yeah.
So it has it has really big gills. It's a small fish with really big gills that basically look like wings. And so have you ever seen a Pegasus or whatever? It's like a horse with wings.
Yeah.
It looks
Hercules.
that fucking weird. And so I see the picture and I swipe and there's a video and it's just it like 6 inches above the water, just fucking going. And how they do it is they go like, I don't know if it was 50 either miles per hour or kilometers per hour or whatever, but they're going at that speed and then they jump out of water and open their wings and they can glide. It was meters because they can glide for like up to 200 meters or something.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought this was like, you know how they pick up the water and then go and dump it out the helicopters? Oh. I thought that's what you were going to tell me. Like, yeah, they pick up the water out of a pond and then all of a sudden they just fucking drop these fish and people are like, damn, flying fish. Like, I thought that's where you were
Damn, flying fish.
I thought that's what I see.
No, legit flying fish.
Trying to fucking, dude, she's gonna bother me because now I'm nervous. I'm truly nervous that just like the whole episode is just like tick, tick, tick.
She wasn't on there the first one, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't think she was. There'll be one good one.
What? Yeah. They're just all bad. Let's just record 3 in a day instead. And then it's just all shit. All of them are so bad.
One of them, the sound's fucked up. The other one, we ran out of shit. The first one, we just couldn't get started correctly.
No, dude, I was bricking the intros there back to back.
This had to do with something. Me being like retarded or ADHD or whatever. I told this to Grace and like because like I didn't get diagnosed autistic at all. Was not diagnosed. But they did say maybe, and then I stopped going back. I didn't go there again. So like I was just like, well, you can't diagnose me if I'm not here, so fuck you.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Can't have it if you don't test type of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of proves it because I told this to Grace because somehow we started talking about Pokemon. So did you play Pokemon as a kid? Or were you into Pokemon?
Yes and no.
Pokemon with the cards.
Like
were you into that?
Yes, but not like into it. Like we more just bought them and we just put them in binders and really didn't know what. Like I didn't know how to really play the game, but I had.
Was
cards.
there was a way to play it though?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know the animals, the characters, whatever they're called. I didn't know their power. I didn't know shit about Pokemon.
Yeah.
I used to buy the cards because I liked the design of the cards.
Yeah.
I liked the colors and I liked the words. And when I first started getting them, like when I was really young, I couldn't even like read the shit.
Yeah.
I just liked the words. I just liked the way it looked. And so I'm explaining like all this to Grace, and I pulled up a picture and I was like, look how nice it looks. Like it's got a colorful picture. It's got a little character. The border's all, fancy. And look, there's a bunch of words and they're put so nicely or so neatly. And I was like, it just like looks good. And she goes, that's why you were into Pokemon? I was like, yeah, I don't know anything else about it. I couldn't like Pikachu and like Charizard or something. That's all I got. And she was like, that's autistic as fuck.
That's kind of
And there was another time we were at our place in Astoria, and we were like, this was early on. Like, I don't think we had, like, because we hung out for a while, and this is how we always do it, is like, I don't think at that point we had sex yet.
Okay.
So, like, that's how her and I always talk about it. It's like, oh, yeah, we hadn't had sex at that point. So we know that it's, like, early on.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on our patio eating food, and it's, like, golden hour. And she was talking to me, apparently, and I was staring at trees for, like, 5 minutes, and I would not respond. She kept going, Colby, 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 and then just gave up and waited for me to, like, come back. And then she goes, what were you doing? I go, what do you mean? And she goes, I was trying to talk to you and you didn't even, like, you seemed like you couldn't hear me. You were just staring over there. I was like, oh yeah, the leaves were all turning together at the same time and it just kind of mesmerized me and it just looks cool. I like watching the trees. And then I just start watching them again. I was like, oh, Sway. And she's like, dude, watching shit move like that? Like, are you watching do you like watching washing machines spin too? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I can't remember, but she's like, you're so fucking retarded.
That is really funny to me that you were just like touching the Pokemon cards. You're like, I like the texture. The texture feels nice. You're like rubbing it on your face. Like,
I really liked, I'd only wear, like, you remember as a kid, you'd wear onesies and they were that certain material.
mm-hmm.
I made my mom get me like a bunch of like clothes, like once I was older. I think I was in kindergarten or first grade, and I made her get me like t-shirts and shorts out of that material because I just liked it so much. I just liked the feeling, and I just sit there and like rub it back and forth on me. So retarded, dude. I'm fucking, yeah. I'm special.
We always joke that Abby's autistic because she does lots of things that she's just like, that you're like, what was that, man? Like the same exact deal where, I don't know, but that's hilarious that you were just like spitting like just Pokemon, like not even Pokemon facts. You're just like you're just sitting there looking at them. I wasn't that into Pokemon, but I got a Game Boy Advance from one of my friends. And I remember like I was over at his house and he's like, well, you could just have that, because I have my DS now, and I never had like a Game Boy. And I brought as we were leaving, his like dad said something about it to me, and I was like really nervous that he thought I was going to be stealing the game, but I was like, no, he said I could have it, like, and I remember being like very panicked about it, like for some reason. I don't understand why.
Did you have a history of stealing things?
No, not really. I only really
I don't know if I believe that.
I only really stole like a couple of things in my life. Like we used to go to Dollar Tree and I would sometimes steal stuff, but I only did it like once or twice. Like, and it was just candy. Like, cause we would go in with like our longboards and we would take our helmets in and then you would just pile in as much candy as you could into your helmet. And then you'd like put it up to your chest and like walk up and pay for like 2 things. And then you'd get outside and you're like, yes. And then another time, I remember I fucking was at this hobby store with my dad and my older brother, and there were like those magnetic snake eggs. Do you know what I'm talking about? That like the 2 magnets, and you throw them up in the air, and they're like and like stick together.
Yeah, and they end up sticking together.
Yeah,
okay.
And they're like a weird shape. I just like full blown in front of like everybody in the store, like was like. And they didn't see me doing it, so I think that's why I thought like I was gonna get away with this. But I like got them out of the package, and then I'm just like still in the store with them, and I'm like playing with these like snake eggs, and they're like, "What the like?" And my dad like actually said something to me about it. He's like, where did you get those? And I'm like, oh, I just brought them from home. And he's like, no, you didn't. Like, I know what's at the house. Like, I know you did not just bring those like from the house. And then like, there's a clear open package of that exact same thing right there. Like, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, and I remember being like really embarrassed about it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my thought process was there. I really don't.
I think so. You remember Mud Puddles?
Yeah.
I was in there and they just had like loose figurines on the shelves. And I grabbed one and I was just playing with it throughout the store. And then my mom walked out the store and I walked out with her and I'm playing with it in the car. And then we get home and I'm playing with it. And she finally goes like, hey, what is that? And I'm like, oh, toy. And I don't know. I'm just playing with it. And she's like, where did you get that? And I was like, I don't know. And then she's like, did you take that from Mud Puddles? And I'm like, I don't know. I've just been playing with it. Like again, so ADHD. I'm like, I don't remember where I picked this up and I don't know how long I've had it. Did I have it before? I don't know. And then she ended up taking me back to Mud Puddles and making me apologize. And then she bought it for me. And then 10, 15 years later, or probably like 10 years later, I fucking meet Kieran and find out that his mom owns the place and that's who I apologize to. And I was like, dude, I've stolen from you guys. I was like, well, it was a while ago and my mom did pay for it.
No, I think my dad was like, look, I'll pay for it since my fucking idiot kid just opened it up. And like, I knew exactly what I was doing too. Like, I knew that it wasn't really, but my older brother, they used to take him into the stupid fucking hobby store and he would like just blow money in there. Like, he had like RC cars, he had like RC helicopters, like the whole shebang. And like, he'd always convince somebody to drive him down there and then would kind of weasel out like getting like a fucking $200 RC car, you know? And it was one of those deals where I think like he was taking like lessons of how to fly this fucking helicopter that he had absolutely no business to be flying, you know? And I was just in there for long enough that I was like, dude, I'm so fucking bored. I get a toy now. Like, I'm taking a toy. Like, and I wasn't very old. I was pretty young. I stole one other thing too, I feel like, and it was a name tag with my name on it from not the Hoover Dam. What's the dam here in Oregon? And they have like the fish hatchery there.
Out I-84?
I think so. I don't know. I was young.
Fuck.
It doesn't really matter.
I know there's like Cascade Locks, but I can't remember what that dam's called.
Yeah. It doesn't really
God
matter.
damn.
But I remember like getting out into the like, and my grandma had taken us, and it was my grandma, my mom, and then like the rest of
I was just patting
no,
myself, and then I was like, what am I doing?
That's autism kicking in. And I had stolen a name tag for me and my older brother, and like we got back into the van, and I was like, here you go, you know, and then I was like holding it, you know, and they're like, what the fuck is that, you know, and I'm like, it's my name tag. Like, and they're like, did you steal that? And I'm like, no. Like,
No, it has my name on it. It's mine.
yeah, like I really tried to play it off as if I didn't steal it, but it was the same deal where it was like, you didn't have it before we went into the gift shop that ironically also had the exact same item in it. Like, why are you even, like, not only are you stealing, you're lying too.
Did you ever, like, when you were older, pretty much do the same thing, not with stealing, but like lying about something? You get caught either like by your parents or at school, and then you know that they know you did it. And it's not that, like, they're just trying to get you to like be mature and own up to it and whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, if I don't give up the lie, they'll eventually believe it. Like, they have to. I'm a kid. I can't be, you know, that deceitful. I'm not that bad. I'm not that evil. They'll have to believe it eventually. Did you ever do that? Because I did that all the time.
Not really, because I was pretty I was pretty honest with my parents, and I'm still kind of the same way. Like, if I, like, obviously those couple of times, no, like I was really trying to like make it seem like I didn't do it, but most of the time that I did anything bad that I like got caught doing, or like kind of got, like I've told you that story. Like, one night my mom picked me up and was like, have you been like doing something you're not supposed to be doing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, we're going to drug test you when you go home. And I'm in like 6th grade, and she's like, I feel like maybe you've been smoking weed. And I was like, look, I'm going to just be honest with you. Don't waste your money on a drug test. I'll just tell you straight up. I've been smoking a lot of weed. Like, I was like it wasn't at all. Like, the only other deceitful thing I would do is I would log on to my mom's email and then fucking excuse myself from classes and then just clear the email because she has no idea how technology works. And then, like, when that finally got brought up, I was like, yeah, I've been doing that now for like 6 months. Like, like,
oh, fuck. Oh.
But any other bad thing I did, I would just tell my parents that I did it. I'd tell them the next day. I'm like, dude, you should have seen what we fucking did last night. And they'd be like, you can't be doing that. And I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Yes. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
My mom, I think I was like 8th grade, freshman year. And I used to move kind of how you move your office around.
Yeah.
I used to move my room around like every other week.
Yeah.
And so I was wanting her help to move my bed. I forget that I have a pipe and a grinder and a little black bag full of weed.
Yep.
Right under my bed. So we lift the mattress up and like start to move it, and I see it and I'm like, fuck. And then like we're looking at each other like this, and I glance down and I'm like, oh shit. And I look back up and she's like looking at me and then just looks where I looked and then looks back up, doesn't say a word. And I go, hey, well, 1 second, put this back down. And we put it back down, and I grabbed the stuff and like slid it back, and I think just like put a shirt over it or something. And then we moved the mattress, pick up the bed, pick up the frame, put it, move it, put the mattress back on top. And before she turns around, I move it to another spot. Cause I'm like, in that same way of like, if I just keep lying, they'll have to believe it. So I'm like, I know she saw it, but if she looks at where I put it and it's not there and then she can't find it, did you really see it? And so I like just kept lying, and she was like, finally I was like, no, it wasn't that. No, it was nothing, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually she's like, okay, I saw a pipe and a grinder.
Yeah.
Like I'm not dumb. I just wanted you to say it or whatever. And then I was like, okay, but it's not mine. I'm just holding it. I'm just holding it for Caleb because his mom searches his room and he'd get in trouble. Well, do you smoke? No, I just hold it for them because I know I can't get in trouble. And they're like, she was like, I think like let it go. I know for a fact I didn't get in trouble for it.
That's so funny that you just kept lying. I would have just like, my mom cleaned my room in like 6th grade, and it was the same. I had made a pipe. I had my mom take me to fucking, I think, what's that? Michael's, no, your mom worked at Home Goods.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, which is funny because your mom worked there. But whatever. And I had like bought this clay, and I literally made this little pipe. And
out of clay?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I had never even used it, but it was funny because I had my mom, and she was going to come help me clean my room one day, and she found that and like 4 other janky little pipes that I had made. And she was like, what the hell is all of this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, it's for smoking weed. Like, like, I explained it to her as if she didn't know what I was planning on doing. Like, I didn't try and lie at all. And then I remember like, that, like
how you do it is you put your finger on that little hole, and then you light it, and then when you let go off that hole, and then you suck in. And I get this, Jason. What are you doing with it,
dude? It was
like,
honest.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I never even baked the clay. Like, you have to bake the clay.
Okay, yeah, that was what I was thinking. Is I was like, this sounds like you're gonna be smoking some shit. Like you're gonna die.
Well, probably, but I will say, for as young as I was, it was pretty ingenious, because I had bought this clay. She had no idea why I bought the clay, and it's just clay. And then I literally took like, yeah, I'm so stupid. I feel so bad. I feel like these episodes have been bad on my end.
It's just funny. You're like, she didn't know what I'm doing. It's just clay. And I'm like, yeah, I guess she wouldn't, but.
And I like rolled out like a log, and then I took a pencil or like a thin pen. I forget what it was. I think it might have even been like the ink of a pen. And then I like stuffed it down in there, and then I like shaped it around. And then I made like the little like spoon down at the end that you would put the weed into, and then like pulled the pen out. And then like, I mean, it actually looked like a little pipe. Like
Okay, that's a smart way to do it. I was thinking like, okay, you roll up a log, you make the bowl, you just fucking shovel it out, compact it, shovel it out a bit more, compact it, and then you just repeatedly put a pencil in and out, and you just slowly fucking carve a hole.
yeah. No, it was like that. You had said the story about the beer thing though on the last episode, and it was making me think about it because I had one beer in my room too when I was in like 8th grade or freshman year, and it sat in my like in this like box thing in my room, and it was just the warmest Keystone Light too, which is like the one of the worst beers. And I remember one day I was finally like, yeah, it's been a rough day at school. I'm gonna crack that thing, and I like cracked it, and I like drank it, and I was like, that tastes so bad. And I think I had Austin over here. If you know who I'm talking about, it doesn't really matter. But he was over here, and he's like, "What does it say on the bottom of it?" And I like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "There's an expiration date on the bottom." And I was like, "Beer goes bad." And I like looked, it was like 2 years expired.
Beer goes bad, dude. My mom always told me growing up, candy never goes bad. It just made me think of that. That's all I'd like. Is it old? It's candy. It doesn't go bad.
It's candy.
It's sugar.
Oh, okay. You want to wrap this up and go over to the Patreon?
Yes, sir.
What time is it? Are you?
Nah, I'm good.
8:12. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna go over to the Patreon. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm looking at the camera right now, and something looks so fucking. It looks like the whole room is at like a 45-degree tilt, which I'm sure I'll be able to fix.
Yeah,
it in
this thing.
editing.
Like that, the corner right here. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, something. It almost too looks like right here is like, I mean, because there's you and me and then the table. So there's like a little bit of a belly in the green.
Yeah.
But it makes it almost look like the table is bent from my perspective. Looks like the table goes like that too.
Yeah, I think maybe something is definitely off kilter.
All right, so we'll finish up any of our stories we started on this one on the Patreon, and we'll try and make that episode. We'll start it correctly. Baddie's not moving, and we'll fix the camera.
We're going to fix the camera. We're going to start it correctly. Join us over there on the Patreon. There should be another episode out towards the end of the week, and we're going to try and maybe start doing 2 episodes a week. They're just going to be a little bit shorter, and you guys are going to be happy and not fucking complain. I don't think we have enough people to complain, to be honest with you.
That was bad timing. Goodbye. It just turns back on. Goodbye.
Goodbye.